around, and it runs over here, and it wraps around the That was a chunk. That kill a man graveyard dead. When them cherry blossoms were just making, and it beat everything in the world off of that. Well, good morning. I'm out here having my favorite cup of coffee in my favorite coffee cup. When I went to Mount Rushmore, depending on what year you went, determines on what Mount Rushmore really is. When Hillary Clinton spoke there, they talked about how majestic Mount Rushmore was. When Obama was there, it was the same thing. Such a grand place. When Trump was there, right before the 4th, they called it just a hill with a couple of slave owners on it. Anyways, it's the morning after, and I was just going to wrap up the video. Let me show you some of the mess I've got to clean up, and I'm going to tell you why. I could pay the guy to clean up all this and haul it off. It would take him about 3 days. and it would cost me about 2 to 3 times as much money. But I would rather save my money and do the work myself, and because I've got a lot going on, I'm not going to be able to get it all done today or tomorrow. I've got stuff to do at church. So let me show you what we got here. As you can see, there's some big logs. I mean, these are big, but they hauled all the brush for me. They drug it over to the edge of the trees. But these logs here, I'll just set my coffee cup on them. You can kind of get an idea for what size of log we're talking about. Yeah, see there? That's part of the trunk, and even 25 to 30 foot up in the air, it's still about 2 foot across. Gives you an idea what kind of tree we're dealing with. So I've got some logs here in the yard I'm going to have to deal with. But basically, I never mowed this over here much, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. And that's where they laid the brush. So I can get around my house with my lawnmower, but the brush is all just kind of piled out. Of course, there's the big hickory that we cut. I'll walk you over here and show you. A lot of logs laying there. But because of where they're laying, they can lay there for a week or a month and it won't hurt anything. That's all oak wood for firewood. There's our big hickory trunk, stubbed out, about 30 foot up. Of course, these are all hickory logs. Tell a little difference in the leaves. And I've got a little work, a little cutting, a little chainsaw work. I'll be in there about 15 feet. So I've got a little work, but because they pushed them all into the woods, and into the woods, I don't have much out in the yard. What little bit I do have, I think we can take care of it early one morning. So anyways, so that wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing some big trees go down. And let me say something. Every time I fire up a chainsaw, somebody that knows nothing about chainsaws, trees, or owning their own land says, why would you cut a tree down? I'm going to give you 3 reasons. Reason number 1, it's my tree. I happen to be a landowner. I'm not renting. I worked hard. I gave a portion of the money that I earned every month to own the land and build the home on it. It's mine. If I want to cut every tree down, I live in America. It's my right to do so. Sorry, Stalin, you can't tell me what to do on my own land. Number 2, these trees were leaning toward my home. I've said this before. I worked hard to buy a home. I worked hard to get it paid off, and the last thing I want to do is have a tree fall on it. Yes, I have insurance on my home, but I'd rather not have to rebuild it. Number 3, I want to get my garden in the backyard enlarged, and I want to build a kind of a shed in my front yard to put some stuff under and do some cooking under. These 2 trees had to come down before the shed and the next raised bed could go in. Because if I build the shed and leave the tree, then I've created a problem for getting rid of the tree, and eventually the tree's going to have to come down because, point number 2, it's over my house. Same for the garden. If I go ahead and build another raised bed, there's nowhere for all these limbs to fall to. And so that's why I had to get them down now. So the big red oak is down, the big hickory is down, and the projects can carry on, which is a garden and a shed. So thanks for watching.